I realize that Bob Dylan and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. are going to be a little bit disappointed by the conviction that arises by anybody who's willing to actually look at the evidence that Reagan's semiotic team worked with Lenin on a big master project. Now, among those who are going to be disappointed are Viktor Orban, Macron in France, and Putin. Unless, of course, Toon gets his wish and comes in with a Luger and kicks down my door. Because I was at the center of their Grand Central Station Black Studies invasion by Modi and the Gurdjieff Society, who lassoed me into a one-night stand they could then claim was adultery, which I knew nothing about. She was just a student teacher who invited me home after a few dates. And they made it out to be Frank Zappa groupie by implanting a neuroplasm that was actually trademarked Burston. Edna Ray Galuli changed her name to Burston for the making of The Exorcist. And it was a homophone for Christian Armageddonism, the Zionist girl, gay, ill, Christmas caroling bombs Burston, Gail Carolyn Burston. They never arrested her. Because what it is, it's a fake program meant to trigger a backlash. They put me into seizures to make it look like I was demonically possessed using this thing. Ever wonder why they had someone named Blinken and Peter Gabriel going on about rapid eye movement? Let me tell you, this is the truth about their silly story of satanic uprising in Paris. This is the truth of it. They claimed Martin Edelman, Joel Kaplan, Peter Gabriel, Amanda Harcourt, and Yoko Ono, Bob Dylan's crowd, and RFK Jr. claimed, openly espoused, through devious little worm tongue methods of their media corporation, that I was hiding a date rape. This was neuroplasm that had fused shut and caused neuroplastic amnesia, that had thrown the key and locked the door on memory. And when it burst open, what did I remember was being kidnapped in a freezing cold day, that I didn't dare go to school. At the age of 13, weighing under 100 pounds, freezing cold with ice and snow, freezing, frostbitten like toes. And the murderers pulled up in a stolen car and found me anyway and dragged me off. That is diametrically different. Build your little parallelogram and connect the dots, Ms. Thunberg. That is diametrically different from hiding a date rape. They put me into seizures and tortured me, and I now have Parkinson's because of their cowardly lie after lie after lie, but their fake of neurohypnosis is intended to trigger a backlash symbolically against the United States of America. In other words, Yoko Ono, Reagan put together this pussy ball thing in the name of the Holy Church. And they said that the Satanists are coming in the name of Jim Queerball, who's a deaf poet. You want to hear some of my poetry sometime? They forbid me to go to school and refused to allow me to learn sign language. When I finally got hold of someone who could teach me sign language and got back into college, I went to the top of my class and graduated in the Honor Society. 4 years of college under my belt, they continued to masquerade Oh, he's on the wrong side of the ideological campus, and we're going to have to pressure lobby for the union to confiscate his property as historical value. And this is all tied to the bizarre idea that comic art is Satanism. It's a trophy kill from the European powers who want to subordinate the United States, not because of our fiasco of fascism and NATOism at the top, but because they just like the way that the Axis does things a little bit better. They want a dictatorship around the world that can commit genocide and, oh, so what? We've lived good lives. Widely believed that the earth isn't going to make it anyway. This is the sort of tenuous continuum that goes on behind the scenes in these people. And that's what's real. And the way to straighten it out is not to do things in excess. I saw a piece of graffiti today that was sort of hidden up in the woods around the bridge. And it was like the person had a certain amount of shame. Graffiti's okay, but people who go around breaking windows and looting small businesses are like the people who stand outside of ATMs and wait for deaf people to come to there, because deaf people are easier to rob when they withdraw money. And don't think I'm saying black people, because the Green Party is multicultural, and most of them have other styles of public reputation than cross burning. But if you want to know my opinion about Viktor Orban's stuff, about the Paris comedy, is he may be right that the group themselves are tied to Bob Dylan and Celine Dion and should be subject to very serious interrogation of premises. But to me, his stuff is just another cross burning. It didn't do anybody any harm. It didn't do anything at all to put so much as a dent in the power of Christianity. It's an absurdity written by absurd people for absurd purposes. And it has about as much to do with Satanism as being kidnapped on a freezing day as a child, terrified and in trauma, has to do with virginity-proving rape, as they claim. That's absurd.